be short in here. This is the room in the bottom of Caiaphas' house where Jesus would have been lowered into this room as he awaited trial. This is where he heard all of everything that was being spoken against him. First, we're going to read Matthew 26, 57 through 60. Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the teachers of the law and the elders had assembled. But Peter followed him at the distance, right up to the courtyard at the high priest. He entered and sat down with the guards to see the outcome. When we go up top, you'll see Peter sitting down with the rooster above him. That's the statue there. The chief priests of the whole Shi'ar were looking for false evidence against Jesus so they could put him to death, but they did not find any, though many false witnesses came forward. This is the room where Jesus spent the night before his trial. This is not a room that's recorded much other than that in Matthew 26, so we don't really know what he was thinking. But like this morning when we were in Gethsemane, imagine the prayer that he was singing there where he's sweating blood. Now he's listening to people, he's listening to the priests and everyone come up with false accusations just so they can kill him. Now if you ask me, any man knowing that they're going to die is not natural. It's not natural to know when you are going to die. It's a hard outcome. It's a hard reality. So imagine his prayers now knowing, okay, this is what they're going to say. This is what they're going to do to me. This is what they're claiming I did, but yet I've lived perfect. I'm the Son of God. Knowing those things, he's sitting here and having to listen to that. And imagine the hardship that, and we don't really have too much information on him in this room, what he would have thought, what he was thinking, because the closest witness was sitting outside awaiting what the judgment was going to be. But what we do have is Psalm 88, which is a good representation of what Jesus may have felt in that moment. So I'm going to have Beth read that. You read it loud.
Lord, you are the God who saves me. Day and night I cry out to you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. I am overwhelmed with troubles, and my life draws near to death. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am like one without strength. I am set apart with the dead, like the slain who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, who are cut off from your care. You have put me in the lowest pit, in the darkest depths. Your wrath lies heavily on me. You have overwhelmed me with all your waves. You have taken from me my closest friends, and have made me repulsive to them. I am confined and cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, Lord, every day. I spread out my hands to you. Do you show your wonders to the dead? Do their spirits rise up and praise you? Is your love declared in the grave and faithfulness in destruction? Are your wonders known in the place of darkness? Are your righteous deeds in the land of oblivion? But I cry to you for help, Lord. In the morning my prayer comes before you. Why, Lord, do you reject me and hide your face from me? From my youth I have suffered and been close to death. I have borne your terrors and am in despair. Your wrath has swept over me. Your terrors have destroyed me. All day long they surround me like a flood. They have completely engulfed me. You have taken from me friend and neighbor, darkness and my closest friend.
A lot like the psalmist, Jesus probably felt overwhelmed, cut off, forgotten, grieved, rejected, terrified, or in despair. So this is a good representation of what Jesus may have felt. And we've all felt this way at one point in time. Maybe not to this extent, definitely not to this extent. We've all felt like we've been in pits, listening to what's going to happen to us or what the outcome of our situations are going to be, whether it be health, finances, jobs, whatever it is. It could be a pit for us. And some of us maybe feel trapped in the pit. This is all we're going to know. The darkness is going to be our only friend. There's nothing else that's going to satisfy. And, I don't believe Jesus ever felt hopeless. I believe he always kept his hope in God as the Son of Man. But many times we can feel, even if we do know that there's hope, we can still feel like there is silence, especially if we're already going through a challenging situation. It seems everything is going wrong in our life, that it seems there's no way out, that it's just darkness, which fills us feeling forgotten, in despair, or just simply rejected. But in those moments, hope is still alive. The greatest things can happen. And for us, it was Jesus went to the cross and became our sacrifice. In the moment of his hardest reality, his hardest point of life, the hope was he became the sacrifice for all man. And before the psalmist, his laundry list of everything going wrong, he acknowledged that there was hope for salvation in the Lord. Can you read the very first verse again? Lord my God, my salvation, I have cried out to you day and night before thee. There's hope in the Lord. There's hope in God. And he started with the hope in the Lord. So before his laundry list of problems, he acknowledged there is hope in God, even when we feel like darkness is the only thing close to us. We learn that just because God is silent sometimes, or may feel silent, not that he always is silent, or that he is silent in that situation, but we may feel he's silent. It does not mean he is absent, and it certainly does not mean he is not working behind the scenes on our behalf. Jesus being in this room, he was working on the scenes for our behalf. So what I want to do today is just real quick, so we don't keep too many groups, is I want us to take a moment of silence, take 1 minute silent, and just imagine what Jesus was hearing. Imagine hearing your worst enemy saying, you're going to die, we are going to kill you, we're going to overcome you. And so whatever situation you're going through, imagine that situation, cry out to you and say, man, we're going to overcome you, just like David and Goliath saying, I will kill you. And then I want you, at the end of those 30 seconds, I'll say a 30-second countdown, I want you to declare hope into that situation. Declare those promises, declare the hope in those situations real quick.
Amen, Jesus. Amen, Jesus.
Lord, we just thank you so much for what you've done for us, working behind the scenes on our behalf. And we just speak hope into everyone's situation today. And we thank you for just always being hope for us. In your name we pray.
Amen. Thank you.